any time that they move that dirt, well, and I watched him 2 weekends ago load some dump trucks in there. I think it was 4 or 5 dump trucks. They loaded. He come up slow and he dumped, but the wind was blowing. And the second he dumps, the whole neighborhood is just full of that dirt.
So what are we gonna
And
do?
that's what I say. I
And
don't
then it
know.
goes away.
I'd like to find a solution because
It's,
people's come to me and said, what can you do? And I went to Eric, I don't know how many times, I went to Chip a number of times, and that was the
why don't you guys come to me?
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing.
I don't wanna do,
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not.
what would you like me to do?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't
Do you want
touch
us
it
to
here.
water the pile? You want me to, they can't water it before they get there. Would you like me to have them run a water truck down the road twice a day, 3 times a day, turn the sprinklers on it? You tell me what you want me to do and we'll get it taken care of.
Sprinklers.
It'll be in the morning.
How about we
This
leave
week.
it as simple as try to fix the dust problem, Scott, whatever you think's
How
best.
do we do that, though? We don't.
I don't know how to fix it when they're dumping, when they're loading the trucks.
Can we dump some roto-mill on the road? If the truck's going in and out, it's right in the dust, can we just roto-mill the road? That keeps the dust down.
That's a hell of an expense.
Is that expensive?
That is not worth it to me, to even have that. If that's what we gotta do, I will discontinue.
What's the other chemical that is,
Rent the
Well,
property.
they have,
they put in dirt?
I have gravel on that road
Yeah,
now.
it's gravel.
It's a gravel road. It doesn't make dust unless you drive fast. Where the dust is coming from is when we drive through the field. But to tell you the truth, I make more dust than anybody when I mow it down with my brush hog out there, trying to keep the place looking nice. We bought it, we cleaned it up, we watered it, trying to make it nice. But, I don't know what else I can do.
so roto-mill's too expensive?
What's it, how much is it?
I thought it was the cheapest thing, I thought it was cheaper than gravel.
Not anymore.
No, not
Everybody wants it now.
Unless you get it right off the street, that's the only time.
Is it
you get
sixes
it.
or more
If you
now?
have to go to the pit and buy it, it's about $15 a ton.
And it's,
Wow.
it's not,
But
you tell me what you want me
could
to
water
do,
it.
and then I'll decide whether it's beneficial for me to keep doing this for my friend.
I don't know if, myself, I couldn't tell you tonight exactly what the issue is. I think that
I-
you're obviously open to solving the problem and
Yeah,
maybe next week, tomorrow.
I'll start on it in the morning. If you tell me give me a guideline and I'll head that way.
I would only think from now, a water tank on the road would be the first step until there actually was something that we could discuss and maybe
And
work out together.
maybe we can wet the pile down, but I can't control the wind and they can't either. They're not there continually. They come in, they dump, they take, them guys is going down into Utah County somewhere, I don't know, to get the dirt to bring it here. So you're 2 hours around,
Well, in Scott's defense, I mean, they're not there to see what's created when whoever decides to come in and buy it or when they decide to move.
I know when I've been there, if they're going, I told every one of them drivers, you come in here in first gear, because if the first complaint I get, you guys are gone. And this is the first complaint I've heard.
There you go.
So,
But this is not you, personally.
Yeah.
There's
No.
probably 5 or 6
Yeah,
or
this is-
7.
Yeah, this is not.
So it's not just us.
I told Melanie that dust was not good. I had put up with it as long as I was going to put up with it.
Never heard of
And
it.
I've hung out clothes for 40 years and never had a mess like I've got here.
Don't even.
Myrna, now, I'm
And
not
the
calling you a
poles
liar.
go in 12, and 12 trucks at a time and out. Don't tell me there isn't dust. Melanie can go down that road and the dust blows.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
You yourself told me we was the best neighbors
Yes.
you've ever had.
Yes.
That was before all these big dump trucks
Why
was
did you
going
come and
in
say
and
something
out.
to me? Myrna, let me tell you
Because
At
something.
this point, make that
Yeah,
call, we can
let's
have that
not.
discussion outside
Okay.
between you.
Yeah, don't talk.
Okay, I don't need
came
to talk
down
to you,
and
I'm not
asked
talking
you
to you.
about if you'd seen my turkey, and you jumped onto me about Kelton's horses. which was
Exactly.
none of your business.
Neither is
I
this.
got ice, starving horses get my
They
ice.
weren't starving.
Well,
You
no,
had
they
some
weren't.
2 bales a night, so don't you tell me they're starving.
This is what it started from.
Myrna, we've got your
And
point.
why would I go ask him to do something with these roads when he jumped onto me? No, I would not.
So I can see that's why it gets to a petition.
And Myrna, we'll let you come up here after Scott to speak as far as, I'd love to hear back from you, but let's let Scott finish and you can come up.
I'm not coming up, I'm going home, but that's the deal. And who in the hell would put up with the dirt all day going in and out when I like to be out in my yard? They don't go past your place and leave all the damn dirt. 'Cause she wouldn't put up with it at all. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't do something about it, I'll find someone who will.
Thank you, Myrna.
You let me know.
So what do you propose?
I'll have them bring the water truck tomorrow. Start the plow as wide as they can get it without turning it.
Okay, I'll come out and take a look. All right, I'll be in touch with you and we'll work through it.
Everything's workable.
Yeah.
I'm a reasonable guy.
Where there's a will, there's a relative. We'll find it.
Well,
That's all I got to say.
Is it possible to get the person that you're doing business with
That's who's gonna do it.
to buy the Rhoda mill?
No, probably not. It's not feasible. I'll check with him and see, you know, but
Even if he can get back past them few houses.
I don't think that's the cause. I mean,
it's out in,
The dump.
it's just when they
it's the
dump the
when they're loading
load
the
off
truck.
the truck,
But
that
You stick it
comes
first
out,
gear,
then it's
you
gone.
don't make no dust. That's what I've tried to do,
If-
be a good neighbor.
if that road was watered twice a day or something.
There would be no
wouldn't,
dust.
wouldn't be a problem, but that pile of stuff, I mean, your own son asked my mother the other day, a week ago, does that affect you? She says, every time I have my windows open, I have a white stove and I got brown dirt on my
And,
stove.
it blows on his house too.
I know.
That's why I've told him to keep it down.
Yeah, it's-
You're killing everybody around here, you know, with your dust. You're not literally killing them, but you're dusting them. So keep the dirt down, keep the dust down. I've tried it, but I'll have them put a water truck on it, and if they're not willing to do that, they'll be gone.
Thank you, Scott.
Well, yeah, because I sit there and watched him try to, dump and unload, and he was doing it the
They're-
best he could.
They're
I
doing
mean,
the best
honestly,
they
it was
can.
just a little bit, but
It's just the
as soon as
wind.
it dumps, the wind takes it and it's gone.
I know. Mark calls in and out of there. We've had this discussion, haven't we, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is Community 9, is there kind of like a three-sided where you could dump to sort of contain, I mean, it may not blow as much, or, nothing simple, little,
It's in the
I know.
middle of the
It's
field.
just a
Yeah.
pile
It's in
of
the middle of
dirt.
the field.
One day it goes south and east, the next day it goes south and
Nobody
east
knows
and
which
north.
way it wants
I
to
mean, it's just the way the wind
It has
goes.
to be a
Yeah.
big mist sprinkler kind of thing, depending on the wind goes, the wind's going right into it, but take.
Well, let's try the water truck. I'll come down, we'll take a look at it, we'll work through
I'll
it.
call the guy in the morning and
Okay.
don't
Yeah,
go
we'll
home
work
out of
through
there
it.
till he gets the water.
The water truck is the quickest,
That's,
most efficient solution at this point. They can make it.
Even if that big water cannon was moved a little bit to the south and it hit the road,
oh, I know. I can
We
make
could
mud.
dig out,
I
yeah.
tried that the other day. And I made a lake.
Yeah.
I flooded the topsoil pile with my big water gun. So I've
Well,
tried.
they'll get more per ton.
Don't sell it that way, do we?
End up shoveling it out of the bed after that.
Yeah.
few swear
We're
words.
like the cement mixer.
Okay.
That's all I got, so we'll go,
Thank you.
we'll have that, we'll do that in the morning. Okay? Let's go.
Is it done?
How long would you like me to stay?
We're down to the end probably, so, yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, we only have the stormwater haven, you know what, actually, maybe one more item. That wraps up Daniel Municipal. So we're into Storm Haven, if there's any issues we'd want, since David's here to talk to him about anything with Storm Haven.
When people ask me, when do they get their new well, what am I supposed to tell them?
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
in the more.
The government's funding it, so who knows?
It's in the works.
Wait for
So,
them.
I'm seeing Brian tonight, I don't know if he gave you the update.
He did.
He did about shares,
Yep.
15 shares,
Yep.
60 cubic feet.
Yep.
So did
Not resolved and could be a very big
she-
problem.
She never did find any documentation on that.
Who?
Okay, the irrigation secretary, we found evidence back in the 1960 that showed that 15 shares was equal to 60 cubic feet. of
8.8 instead of
water.
0.4 and then.
And they found a stock certificate, and they looking up, and they believe what happened was the stock certificate at some point in time was divided. But as far as I know, to this point, they've never been able to prove that that's actually what happened. So if there's no proof showing that that stock certificate is divided, it looks like, I mean, in my opinion, anyway, it looks like that 15 shares as stated on that document was filed with the state is legitimate, and it is equal to 60 cubic feet of water. which is
Acre
a-
feet.
Or acre feet of water, excuse me, which is a lot of water.
And I agree, and we believe that we're gonna take that stance at that 60, and that's where it's going, and they could cause us a very serious problem with our grant and the new well. And, you know, we, a year ago, kinda tried to come to agreement working with them, and that's now, I don't know if everyone here on the council's aware, but I'll bring this up since we're discussing it. So, about a year ago, we decided to work a little closer with the water company, and it was specifically supposed to be for subdivisions, or if an individual lot had an irrigation, we would work with them, not every building permit. So I was just informed that we have been having to go over physically to the irrigation to a person's house and go over it because they wouldn't even accept an electronic version of the building permit and what's happening. So I have instructed the person not to do that ever again. They can come and pick that up, and we are not going to work on every single building permit, because the agreement I signed was that we would be working with them, not on every single permit. I still have no problem working with them if the subdivision comes in and there's an issue, great, we want to work with them. But to have someone take time and have the town pay for it because they will not accept an electronic version of it, not going to work anymore.
Do they have the ability to accept electronic?
I don't care.
Well, it just comes on your email.
Just our email.
And, or they can
Yeah.
just come to his
That's how I get
office.
all of them. They all come electronic, I just open them on email.
So
So at this point in time, as far as you know, there's been no evidence that that's what stock certificate gets split. There is
I understand that there is, if they dug a little deeper, there are things at the state that might help, certainly help support that. Support the 0.8 instead of that there was 0.8, now 0.4, where did it go? There was a couple of theories of, that maybe are fairly common in irrigation companies that they did maybe years ago.
But in talking with Brian, if that original stock certificate states what it stated, and it was signed by the state, and it was all waxed,
Yep.
if the irrigation company cannot find any documentation that shows that those 15 shares was equal to the 60 acre feet of water, then it must, how can you not accept that as the way it's gotta be?
I couldn't agree more.
David,
Yeah, it's not documented.
doesn't matter what these two
So
think.
that's where we stand, and so they could literally be holding up that whole water system for 40, 60 families, and yep. And so we are expecting our 60 acre feet, and that's kind of how we're planning.
Okay, thanks.
There's a lot more documentation up there we might be able to find if we need to.
Right, that's what I said that to Ryan, because he called me a couple of times, and I said, well, I read it this way, and he went back and reread it a couple of times, he said, oh yeah, it is here, it does say that.
There's 2 or 3 more files that are possibly helpful if we can.
If a second look could be made for anything, great. So good.
If your certificate says that, it's their burden to prove otherwise.
So just because they can't find it doesn't mean they can prove it. Right. Okay. You know, as far
It's
as,
black and white to me, but I don't know.
Nothing's black and white.
It's not, and, you know, they may be able to get lots of little bits and pieces that may
Support their part.
support it, but, you know, they've got to, if we go to court, it would have to be a preponderance of the evidence. They have to show that that's what it was, because we have a signed document to contrary.
I think the person that might be involved should obviously know that, but maybe not.
Amen.
There you go.
On a brighter note, did you guys know that we got more money?
Never heard that story.
305
Yeah.
is what they've moved us up to.
From
See, there's a
270,
reason for you not to resign. You're
From
gonna get
271,
another 30 extra.
they found some extra money for us, so.
That is great.
That is good news.
As far as storm handling, there's nothing else, maybe certainly. That was probably one of the last things that we probably need to ask you about.
Appreciate it and enjoyed being here today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wild little town, ain't it?
Have you seen worse?
I have, much worse, so.
Thank
Very
you.
nice, thank you.
Good night.
Item number 8, approval of council meeting minutes for June 4th, 2018. Everyone had a chance to read that? If so,
Is this violation?
That was the
Do
screen.
we need to go over it tonight?
That was the screen.
Is that something that's in the works of being resolved?
I
Has
believe
that
it.
been submitted? Because that just came in the mail
It
today.
shouldn't be bad.
We'll find out right now. I believe Kim's working on the CCR, Consumer Confidence Report.
Yeah,
You're working on it?
not really, not really. I
Okay.
don't know what it's about.
We
You
just got a
don't?
new violation.
Okay, we just got another 10 points on our system. We're in violation of Rule 309,
Who
22573.
sends, who
I thought
sends
that
you
was
this?
already
Is this
done.
DEQ.
Division of,
Oh, yeah.
Environmental quality,
That's done. According to Ryan.
that's done, according to Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
This is dated 4 days ago.
According to Ryan, both those reports were sent.
and I believe I've heard that the same, actually. Yeah, we're a little bit late, but they got sent and done.
Right.
So it was due by
July 1st, I believe, right?
October 1st
Or-
of each year. So this is for last year. We missed our consumer confidence report. We've been assessed 10.
I don't know, is Ryan out of town?
He is till next, he's got for a week and a half.
Our rating went down also.
As of last Friday, he started.
do you want to hire GEA to do the annual report on the sewer systems in Storm Haven? Or do you want to leave that with, right now we have a private engineer that used to do it for Storm Haven before the town took it over. And he seems to be pretty reasonable, but you might get a better deal with GEA doing that. I don't know.
This conversation is really close between probably next agenda item, maybe between as far as what we're gonna do for the testing side. It's certainly more expensive going through GDA. There might be somebody willing out there, and I've heard there's a few names that to go out and handle that part with GDA, let them handle all the reporting kind of stuff, but maybe not have their engineering do some of that stuff, so.
Well, the guy that's been doing it, he sends a report to the state, right?
The engine, from GDA?
No, this independent guy that's been testing.
Yes.
He sends the report, and so, isn't that $500 or something like that he's been sending that for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you can get it cheaper, generally cheaper for that.
No.
I mean, Kim or I, but, you know, we go lift the lids and we stand there and smell, you know, but he just fixes it. It's a proven method that he uses, but it works, and it satisfies the state. You know, he just wants to know how much sludge there is in the septic tank, and when the sludge is too great, then it's time to pump it.
Well, with the new change and stuff, we'll see what next puzzle fits.
But we do know that at some point down, we've got to do something with that sewer line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Hopefully later than sooner in this particular case.
we just stick with what we got. I think it's working good. I can't see, changing.
Oh, you mean the guy?
Report.
Well,
You're
I'm
gonna
just
still have to
saying
do
if
that?
you're-
You're talking about the inspector guy that runs the snakes and the tank and all that?
He just has a piece of PVC pipe, it's got marks on it, he sticks it down there and says, yep, it's got an angle on it, this is where the sludge is, this is where that is.
He's interested in the outflow from the tank, and then he
Right.
also checks the drain field.
Yeah, it goes out and makes sure there's no drain field on the surface.
But the only reason I brought it up is where we've got the package over at GDA, maybe that could be part of it. I mean, this guy's an engineer, but if you feel like that's value, then why?
Yeah, I think we're okay. I think, this thing is,
We can always
Mary's
ask
right,
him.
this is July 1st. It had to be delivered to the state by July 1st. So that's the report you just sent out with the bills.
Consumer confidence.
Well, this had to be delivered to the state by July 1st.
And that's the one that Ryan said, sent, we got a copy, had copies made, and there's one out of this week's billing to the consumer.
And it did go out. I received mine today.
Okay, haven't been home yet, so I don't know.
But the state didn't get theirs. And this is, Amelia wrote me an email and said they sent it to Brenda, can't remember her last name. So I'll have to follow up with that, make sure that they receive, I'm sure it was paid.
I'm almost 100% sure that Ryan said it.
Isn't there a name on there like Brenda Coates?
Uh,
At the very, very
No, there's a
bottom?
Brandy Smith and
Brandy.
Rachel Cassidy's the
Or
manager,
Brandy
she's the one
Smith.
that, yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was a Brenda I had on the thing. Anyway, I'll follow up with that, because, are you working on the report?
The only thing that I've worked on is the annual report that goes to the Division of Drinking Water. It has to do with how many gallons you used commercially, residentially. It's an annual report. They used to have you fill out any projects you might have coming in the future, how much it's gonna cost. But I've got Ryan involved in most of that now.
Yeah,
And that's, I would recommend that he just takes that report and let him do what I used to do on it.
well, the only problem is, that he's very busy right now. And I don't know if you guys know it, but they just got bought out, GDA.
Oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah.
But, not that,
T&O out of Idaho, so they've now merged.
Bigger engineering.
So,
I mean, we get.
We
But he
had,
just turned.
we had a sweet little deal when,
I'm telling you, it's not getting done.
Well, this is what got told to me, is Ryan instructed his secretary to do it. She was in the process of leaving. He assumed that she had it done, and she didn't have it done.
That's what I heard.
And so the new secretary got her put together. And my email said it was sent to the state.
Right.
if they are bought out, I wonder if we can get Mr. Taylor to dedicate one of these personnel to the town. Like the situation that's going on with Kimberly. She was pretty well on top of things as far as what I was involved with her.
They can't replace her.
I was gonna say, I think they'd love to do what you're asking, they don't have the personnel at the moment to do that.
They can't replace her, and what's going on there now is everything's falling through the cracks, so.
Let's hope them
Clay,
cracks
it
come together.
just molds and moves, doesn't
I'm
it?
working on that.
Okay. Any other discussion with regards to, well, we've been calling, we're back to the approval of the council meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion with the council? If none, all approve? Aye. Disapprove. Okay. Warrants were approved as written. We'll go on to item number 9, which will be recorder's office warrants approval and announcements there. Mary?
Okay, we have the Comcast telephone bill, $97.33, rent, $200, Wasatch Way for the North Property Annexations, $174, Postmaster for $100, Staples for micro SD cards, that's for Shelley for recording. Wasatch Way for the disconnect for Mary Jo Coleman, $106.36. Utah Division of Finance, this is the annual 2009 series bond payment, $39,245. Smith and Harbison, $3,027.23. And then we only had just a couple of small ones for GDA for the residential ones. planning was $2,051.25, engineering $195. Public works hours, payroll hours for both council and commission.
Thank you.
And Daniel Municipal Water, CenturyLink data bill $47.75, Heber Light and Power $185.67, Chemtech $420. So everybody understands the drum replacement. She had me order a drum replacement, come to find out that she said it wasn't what she needed. So I ended up having to send it back. So there's the credit card charge for it, then there's the credit, and then the toner cartridge. And then tonight, she just told me she needs the drum.
I did hear that.
So, GDA, the engineering, $565, sampling, $460. Payroll, and then Storm Haven, Dominion Energy, $907, Chemtech, $440, Heber Light and Power, $224.36, GDA, again, general engineering, $1,265, sampling for $45, and payroll.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve, second?
I'll second it.
Second, any discussion?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
On the GDA,
Hold on, which, first page, second page?
it's on the first page. Invoice, 00007. You're calling it something else. Where are you getting the numbers from?
Which one are you referring to?
The invoice number is 0007.
No.
General
No.
permitting.
No. So that's actually planning, and how the invoice numbers work. You use, sorry, I'm reading upside down. This right here, and then this is, so like if you had consecutive months, so this is the 7th month of billing for this. So 181106-7.
Okay. So the very first one. Yeah, but the numbers don't line up. If this lines up with this, yeah, right there.
Yeah, but that's planning. So even though this one says permitting, it actually is under planning.
Okay.
Do you understand how those work?
Yeah, it doesn't read like it says.
Which one?
It says planning here, it says general permitting here.
I know,
Okay.
but my understanding when I very first came in, anything under permitting goes to planning. It's not permitting.
Really?
That's how I was told that it has to be.
Good night.
Okay, so the very first one on GDA invoice,
I'm glad when I'm talking to her, so she's hearing the same level from me.
She's nervous about it.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
you, Gary.
I hope so.
Yeah.
In the upright position.
Yeah.
You might get some free top photos.
So Eric, does that make sense? If the 7 is after it, it's because it's the 7th time it's been billed for. So like take for example, Bangerters.
Mhm.
This is the 3rd time that they've done something as far as Bangerters, and then whatever their billing amount.
So how do I track how much is going out? We have Bangor billing, I've seen that 3 times. We haven't issued a permit yet.
Ryan is not, when he was back when, he used to give it that breakdown, then we haven't had a breakdown since he went to GDA for all these things that you've asked and that kind of asked.
Even at that, their billing from what I started looking at to what they bill now, it's totally different. Like I had to actually go to him and say, hey, I need to know when you send this to me, I have to know what is sampling versus what's engineering.
Right, so he's
what.
breaking that down for you.
Yeah.
But is it Johnson's,
We
Frederick's?
still had problems here and there that I've had to say to him, hey, where is this? Like last month, I don't think we ended up billing it specific to sampling because they didn't do it.
Yeah, he was gonna get that to you, I remember that.
Yeah, it didn't happen. So,
Okay. Did I mention a few things are going through the crack?
yeah,
So anyway, on that first one there, planning,
yes.
$2,051, and I guess I'll just take it up with Ryan.
We ought to know what that 2,000 was for.
Well, it's in general planning.
Right.
General permitting, I'm just like,
We had lots of discussions about the general plan
Right.
dollars.
and why is $2,000 not in some project?
Yep.
There should never be $2,000, it should be in some project.
Well, and like I said, I
Right.
don't know why the invoice reads permitting, I just know that I have to make a note right on my computer to always remind myself that that went to planning. It did not go to permitting. That's how I was explained it needed to be entered. So that's why you're seeing planning versus that says permitting.
Well, what I do is I try and make sense out of things that don't make sense, so
But
that's a
even at
problem.
that
Let's step to
permitting,
it tonight. Talk
but
to her and
even
get back to
at,
me.
even at that, if it's permitting, why is it not designated to a specific
That's what
person
I'm,
that's
that's,
permitted?
that's what I'm
Point.
saying. There is no $2,000 to general.
No.
It goes to a, and I understand if we get calls in for some property that nobody ever does anything with,
So
that has
every
to be
time-
billed.
That's not
But
$2,000.
Let me ask you
$2,000.
this, every time I'm getting a phone call saying, I have a question about X property, and I say, okay, let me give you the engineering, or is that what they're billing for, every time?
Every time there's a call, we
Every phone
expect to
call?
get billed, yes. That's why most of those calls come to me, because I don't bill for those calls. But yes, they bill, and I expect them to bill for them calls, but I don't expect $2,000 to 51.
Not that many
2,000.
phone calls that could generate 2,000 under
Right.
general plan, yeah.
Right, okay.
And so, I mean, project coordinator, I got 7 hours under building permits, and then it goes right down to meetings, another 6 hours.
See, okay, now, I don't know if the meetings are meetings, like, I kinda have a feeling that part of those meetings are meetings that he's in
Here?
here with us. But then, like, let's say, for example, back in May, when we had to go down and have the GDA meeting, or sorry, CDBG, I know he billed 8 hours for that meeting.
Yes, and he should.
So, I don't know where those additional hours, I just know that that's, I don't know.
Probably just another discussion that you had before you find an advocate.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'll resolve that tonight. so.
No, and I've asked him in the
Please
last
do.
probably month about that issue actually, and he says, I know, and yeah.
Well,
It's on vacation.
his, opening stays. I don't know that he's going to, but I hope he does.
You're thinking Ryan's gonna leave. Oh, jeez.
Leave it down.
Leave GDA.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, with that being said, we got a first and a second, any other discussion? If not, all approved? Aye? Any disapproved? Okay. Warrants passed.
Can I bring up one other topic of discussion?
Yes, ma'am?
Motion to adjourn.
Listen,
It's like closed session.
Eric, you and I've talked about this.
Have?
Yeah, that you said we need to do it administratively, so let's have
Oh.
this discussion.
All right, let's do.
If you guys look at this is the building fee. It got brought to my attention that it needed to be revised. The reason why, if you look under the
This is the new one.
non-residential, I actually, oh shoot, I didn't.
This is the
print
new
it.
one.
Yeah, so what happened was, is under this one right here for the non-residential, where it says, remodel, addition or remodel, non-residential additional remodel. On the original one that was done in 2013, they actually had on there 500, but then another line item with the same exact thing was duplicated for 250. So it actually was put in there twice, it only should have been put in there once for the 500.
So just for future reference, Mary,
Yes.
this is legislative, this is not administrative.
Oh. Well, when did you want me to address it? When nobody was around?
Administrative is not these guys.
Oh. Well, who did you want me to hand it to?
Just for future reference.
Who did you want me to hand it to? Does everybody understand what I'm asking, or what I'm saying?
So there was just
happened?
basically an extra line in there for a
duplicate.
typo, and what we did is remove the 250 and left the 500, thinking that a non-resident would be more money, would require more money, thinking it would be more like commercial, and non-residential addition would be a commercial. And so the 500 would cost more to process. So we took the 250 out and just left the 500 in.
I mean, we're gonna know here in 6 months or a year if that's the right one, and are we gonna need to adjust it sooner?
Probably not, we don't have very many non-residential additions,
There you
but,
go. Right.
but the problem arises when this is what we've adopted, and the problem arises when we change this, we have to have a public hearing, and we have to go through the whole process. And so that's why I said administratively, we would just take that out.
Great.
And so that's what we've done. We hope you approve.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great.
So, do I need to worry about this?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
My bad.
So that was number 9, nothing else, item number 10, we're not gonna deal with, we don't need to deal with this evening, so item number 11, Jill, entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second? Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Wait, I just totally went, whoosh. I just went out the door. Who first?
John,
Who second?
John.
The two Johns-
Perfect.
the two Johns did it.
Sorry, I just all of a sudden stepped out.
And blame John and John.
That happens a lot. It's a good thing it's J-O-N and a J-O-H-N.
This is one